G'day guys, Maggie with the Outer Circle. As always, joined by Kat.
Ahoy, ahoy.
And we're here to talk about new stuff, what we've been up to, how big a jerk everyone is, all the usual stuff. So, with that in mind, Kat, what have you been up to?
Well, myself, we had the unfortunate release of Gilliman in 40k that seemed to have got into me, and I destroyed my 4,000 points worth of Ultramarines for 30k, brutally smashing them in 3 nights out of the rage. So that compiled with Book 7 and every fucking 40k piece of shit coming into 30k now, into those groups, Space Wolf group and Thousand Suns group especially. Obviously people are waiting until their Legion or preferred units whatever come into the game, and then they've decided to shift over now, but my god, some of them are just awful. Like, could you, like a 40-year-old mother who plays her son, and I'm talking like hardcore whack, man, like legit. It makes no fucking sense, but
I made the little cunt, I could destroy the little cunt.
It was fucked, man. Just, he plays Thousand Suns and he's gonna use those freaking Terminators and all these freaking other combos, and she's like, I don't know what the fuck the deal was, man. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna use sisters against them. And then she's like, oh, what about this invol and blah blah blah. I'm like, fucking, have you tried like not being an asshole? I don't know. Anyway, that's not been good. I haven't been motivated for the new influx of players in the player base anyway. So, but I have been looking into Unification Wars. That's the year 20,000, and so a person's made a set of
20,000, or is that meant to be
25th?
like?
Yeah, M20, M29,
M20?
I believe.
Oh yeah, M29, yeah.
Still M20. You said, yeah. It's like,
yeah.
So
that's like before the age of strife.
Yeah, well, they had like they had a couple of other worlds, had some deep space travel and shit in the time. It's when the Unification Wars, so the Emperor is trying to unify the worlds, the states on Terra, and they're pretty reminiscent of our own. They're all cyber barbarians, and he makes the Thunder Warriors and stuff. And there's some really cool. It's really obscure fluff, and there's a lot of holes to be filled, and it's all community based. There's nothing really focused on. There is a PDF, so they've got a little. You're in that group now, and
yes,
I've decided to go America, which is legit based off of America. That's pretty cool. They're all high level of tech and stuff, and fighting the Thunder Warriors and whatnot. But I've just been painting up some zombies for that, just to get back into painting, to learn not to destroy all my shit when a player base decides to just come in and fuck up my goddamn game. But yeah, also someone said, because it's all a wasteland on Terra, all nuclear war and virus bombing and shit, a lot of wasteland. So I want to learn how to do wasteland bases and stuff, and with the 2-part epoxy resin, someone said that mixing in Typhus corrosion, I prefer an olive drab with a slight bit of olive drab with the 2-part epoxy resin to make a muddy green kind of sickly pool. Someone said Typhus corrosion. I don't see how that's going to work. It looks like it's a dark brown. It's not really green, but I'll give it a go. We'll see what happens. I'm also going to use the whole 2-part epoxy resin with some red in there to make some dripping blood from the zombies on wool. You drip it on wool so it has little droplets on it, so see how that turns out. So it's going to be a messy time working with 2-part epoxy. Obviously you've done that yourself, and it's very messy and sticky, so make sure you wear gloves, maybe even double up. But yeah, that's basically it. I haven't been motivated for 30k at all. Just every time I look at it, I've got a Reaver list coming into play, and everyone's flocking to space wolves and with all these Death Seekers and whatever, and these freaking Terminators of the Thousand Suns that have 2 wounds and 2++ invos and shit, and then with strength, toughness 7 and all this shit with their powers. But yeah, I want to make a Reaver army that's normal Marines that cost twice as much, and the range of their bolt guns are crappier. Go me. What? Just I don't know. Am I doing it right? Am I being MLG as fuck? I don't know. Too MLG, I think. What about you? I've seen you working on some custodes and stuff.
Yeah, I probably sound like I'm full bandwagon for custodes, but I've been painting them for a while. I painted the ones that came in the Prospero box, and I've pretty much just been doing it to use them as NPCs. But I've sort of got enough at this point where I'm like, oh, I might just make it into a full army, because I'm enjoying painting them. As I said to you, they're sort of they're a juxtaposition to the Thousand Suns. You know, where the Thousand Suns are all psychically linked to one another and work as a commune. These guys are all individual warriors, you know, they're very in your face, very close combat. They're also their colours are the absolute inverse of the Thousand Suns, being that, you know, all the bright reds are very, very much minor points on them, whereas the golds are all over them. So it's just something different. Hasn't been as fun to paint as Blood Bowl has been, but you know, it's I don't know, for some reason I'm really enjoying it. I've been doing this green marble bases for them and these glowing green swords, because I like the idea of like that Skaven Warpstone from fantasy, that kind of feel to the swords. Like, you know, there's some sort of slightly otherworldly aspect to them, like they're not just boring old silver power weapons. Like maybe the Emperor's like psychically done something with the swords, or who knows what. But so yeah, you know, these green swords and green bases, and yeah, I'm really enjoying the project. It's sort of, I haven't done anything more for my Thousand Suns since the release of the book because of the fuckheads are ruining my army. And I mean this in the nicest way, but I've been playing Thousand Suns for like 20 odd years. I've been there with them through good editions like 3.5. I've been there with them through bad editions like 5th edition and 6th edition. I've earned my fucking army, and I just want to be able to play my fun army. I'm going to go out to tournaments now, and people are going to look at me and go, you're that guy. And I don't even mean tournaments, because in tournaments, you know, there's an expectation that, oh, sorry, the dog is scratching on my door to try and get in.
Mace that thing.
Oh, it's only a young pup, so it loves its dad.
Who doesn't like mace? It's spicy. One squirt and you're south of the border.
But you know, I've been playing Thousand Suns, and I go to events, just friendly events, and now people are going to be like, oh, great, a Thousand Suns player. There goes the fucking tournament. You know,
Wait,
and you
now,
get...
sorry, look, well, just on that, there has been a little bit of talk with Tim and Aaron and shit, saying that there should be that level of anticipation when you go to an event or a tournament, and they're talking about a point system, 1 through 5. So 1 being all bets are off. Fucking just, it's basically a chess game. It's all hardcore, win at all cost, freaking ranking, ITC bullshit, right? Whatever you're into, and there's no fluff in it at all. You know, Tau with Blood Angels with fucking War Machine and Flames of War, whatever the fuck. And then, you know, scaling it up. A 3 being a little bit of competition, a little bit of narrative, maybe a little bit more focusing on painting, but also not a 5, where 5 would be straight up Eye of Horus kind of setup, where it was all narrative and DMs and all that stuff. And basically, yeah, if there was an army that is there to kick dicks, you just go, I don't want to play you because you're just going to destroy me. There's no point.
I think you and I sit solidly in the 4 and 5 category, maybe sometimes going to the 3. We've been 1s and 2s. We have been 1s and 2s.
Okay, yes. When I was playing 40k. Now, in 30k, yes. I've always been an 8. I'm off the scale, man. I don't give a fuck. Making an army out of Reavers.
Well, look at my Thousand Suns, how I've been playing them for the last, you know, however many
Oh, what's
times. I've been running them with lots of tactical squads, rhinos, mechanizing rhinos, and like anyone does, what it's like taking rhinos in a game with.
And how
first
many
blood
how
and
many
kill
games
points.
have you lost?
I've lost none.
Mm.
I have
Well,
lost none.
see, if I haven't lost my every second game, I feel it's my it's my responsibility to just throw the game, basically.
You know what I think it comes down to, though, and I've said this to a couple of people who inquired. I said, it's not because there's anything innately cheesy about tactical squads in rhinos, but when I play a game at 2,000 points, I've got like 40 or 50 infantry at least. And the person opposite me has like 20 infantry. They've got like 2 token tactical squads, and then they spend all the rest of their points on other shit. Like that Melkador list, one of the lists that I played.
Was that 5 Melkadors? He had 5 heavy supports, right? Because of the
2 Melkador squadrons of 2 Melkadors, and
they
a
can take them in
Felchian
squadrons.
super heavy. Yep.
You can take them in squadrons. That's fucked. I didn't know you could take them in squadrons.
He and he had 2 Melkador squadrons and a Sicarium with Castrum and Orth in it, who's like a special character for tanks for the Iron Hands. And then he had a Felchian super heavy tank as well, and 2 token tactical squads in rhinos. And I beat that army. I beat it because the table, he couldn't get line of sight with his tanks to much of my stuff. I used the rhinos.
Because he had too many tanks on the board.
He had too many tanks, and I used my rhinos to just keep moving my squads and keeping them out of line of sight to him. And then when the time was right, I just jumped out in his face with all my units and crack grenades from the infantry and outflanking Pravian with some Castellax, and the Castellax came from one side, the Terminators came from the other, and they just punched dicks all day long, and I didn't do anything amazing. I just kept my shit from being destroyed by him. And the whole point of the game was to score points by having scoring units in the other guy's deployment zone. So come turn 4 or 5, I just started driving all my rhinos into his deployment zone, unloading bulk troops, and he couldn't shoot at them because the terrain blocked line of sight. So my inferior army, which couldn't really do much to him, won against 5 super heavy tanks. That had nothing to do with the innately being overpowered or anything like that. It was just a lucky, fortuitous table that we ended up on.
This is without the rules. This is a couple of weeks prior to the rules coming out as well.
Yep,
but
still haven't.
I
played them with the rules, but only like friendly testing stuff with guys down at the local club. People who are actually playing 40k armies against me mostly, or I'm letting them use 30k miniatures that I've got spare as proxies. So I've been doing a lot of testing on the Thousand Suns rules, but we're in a funny place. But my message to all
I feel like Homer sitting in the lesbian bar, but just it's a custode Space Wolf, fucking 1,000 Suns, gay bar, and I'm just sitting there being all like, I know this 1,000 Suns Space Wolf's Custodes bar doesn't have any other armies. Well, enjoy your death trap, ladies. So
what was her problem?
It's just that's just ridiculous. The hype is ridiculous. This is
people are coming into the Thousand Suns, and they're ruining it for me. I don't want to have to pull my punches with my army. I play it how I play it, right? And I haven't had anyone turn around and say it was shit playing against your army, right? I want to be able to go out there and play my fluffy Thousand Suns and enjoy my games. I don't need these people who've never played Thousand Suns before, who know nothing of the lore or anything like that, just bandwagoning in and going, oh, I just think they're really cool. It's like, you haven't earned it, right? Just give me this one thing. Let me be elitist about this one thing, right? I don't care if you're taking Mark 8 power armor in fucking 30k, right? I don't care that you're using Necron fucking proxies in your army, right? Just give me this one thing, right? Let me have one nice thing. I've been wanting Thousand Suns for so long. Everyone knows it. The first person everyone turns to and says, so how happy are you that you got new rules? And I have to tell them, because people are ruining the experience for me right now, right? Because I go onto forums and I want to say, look, here's the cool unit I painted up. And they're all like, but that's not 10 Sekhmet Terminators with Biomancy. Shouldn't be like that.
It's hard to fucking represent Biomancy on a unit. Anyway, in painting. But,
they got green glowing swords, Cat. Fuck.
Oh, that makes sense. All you have to do is go get a couple of green different
Source
shades of
lighting.
greens
You just
yeah, that's it.
it's got to be that really shitty
straight up.
source lighting as well that like Armies on Parade fans love. Where
Yeah,
you
like
just
goblin green and shit.
yeah,
It's
where you just get the airbrush and you just spray it on their helmet till the whole front of their helmet goes bright green.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just their eye light.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Who is it that fucking? Oh, I shouldn't. I
say
can
Ty.
name drop here. Fucking. I think it's. Is it Titan Miniatures? No, it might be
Titan
Titan Miniatures. Does a ton of that. Ton of. Source
Can we stop
lighting.
attacking fucking companies? Because the death threats are getting more frequent. But that's cool. Sure.
Yeah, but the
Titan
joke's
Ninjas get
on
wrecked.
them. Our lives are shallow and empty anyway. We're already dead inside.
True. Then I wouldn't have to pay what the fuck has become the new 40k, which is 30k. I'm not liking it. It's one of the most anticipated books was book 7. I was looking forward to it just for a good read, but it seems to have gotten a lot of new people into the hobby, especially with you've got the 2 box sets now of plastic marines, so you can have your 2 tokens of fucking tactical squads and then the rest of terminators or whatever, Malkadors. But yeah, it's not motivated me at all. It's actually made me very sad.
I don't know.
About the hobby. Yeah,
We're
I
in a
don't know.
funny
It
place.
is-
Well, we can't be true elitists. We can't say this army's off limits to you. But at the same time,
That's
like,
exactly right. But I'm finding it hard, obviously, having to go to a new army now since the great war of last week, me versus the army. I don't know what to go to because everything seems to be covered. Like the one I didn't see at Act was Raven Guard. I don't think anyone was playing that Eye of Horus either last year.
yeah, but Raven Guard are brutally overpowered. Nobody plays them, but you've played against my old Raven Guard. Mine were pretty fluffy with just like destroyers and things like that, and that cost a lot of points. But did you ever see them not wreck face?
Yeah, but I don't like their color scheme really. Their palette is pretty bad, and some of their shoulder pads are just awful. Those freaking jetpacks with the wings on them. The fuck is that?
Oh,
It just looks weird.
speaking of Raven Guard, they're the force that I want to do for Unification Wars. Like the people that they were recruited from, they're like all fucking Indons. They're like sneaky fucking.
Really, they're Indonesians.
Yeah, man. They're all.
I thought they're like white skinned people. Is that from?
They're all like tribal people from like Southeast Asia, but
Fuck.
they're like from like Pan Asia, Indonesia, across to like Fiji and the Solomons. So they're like a mixture of like fucking dudes who lay punji sticks and dudes who sing sweet fucking island song tunes under the torchlight.
Nice. I'm thinking about doing Light Lords for them.
Yeah,
'Cause they
except
had,
my, I was just thinking my like HQ character would have to be like Jake the Muss from from like Once Were Warriors. Or,
Jesus
what becomes of the
Jesus Christ.
There's some pretty
No.
big guns on you, bro. Too many weights, not enough speed work. Useless prick. Anyone who's from like Kiwi land will perfectly understand this analogy and like what a horrible, horrible person my HQ would be.
That's just awful, man. Fucking. Wow.
I could totally have a Maori biker squadron.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
Just go up and glass cunts in battle. That's my
man.
Unification Wars force. Just a bunch of dudes who glass cunts. They get to glass them on the first turn of combat, and then they lose their bottles, so they count as unarmed after the first turn.
Fucking hell.
One dude's there, like swinging a chain at people. Another dude's
Actually,
got
just-
a baseball bat
well,
with some nails in it.
Instead of like pushing these racial stereotypes, just on the racial stereotypes thing, they this community PDF that is for Unification Wars has Thunder Warriors in there, and I like the rules. You don't seem to like them too much. I think they represent them pretty well. There's only so much you can do with 1 to 10 for stats across a board of like 8. So I think I like them, but you haven't actually looked at them. You've only heard my description. But
Yes.
you did make one, and it's pretty It is pretty good. You turn that Sigma dude into a Thunder Warrior, and it worked out really well, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
I was confused about the bolt gun myself with the plasma gun thingy, but it was legit. You just copied the old Thunder Warrior miniature with the head. The Puppet Wars make some really good Thunder Warrior heads, though. You just need to put a little tough on them, and I think that work really well for Thunder Warriors. I'm not a fan of the Thunder Warriors myself. They just like
That's why I only made
Freud
one.
punches, man. It's weird.
Well, they're supposed to be like, they're kind of like the Custodes and the Marines. They're like a halfway point between the two, but they're shittier in the fact that like they're better fighters, but they're all batshit insane. They either like go insane because of like all the juice they're on, or they die from like these horrible diseases and the fact that they're full of like cancers and stuff like that because of like the dodgy genetics in them. That they go insane from knowing that they're gonna die no matter what. So I don't know.
Welcome to the rest of us. Our fucking John. Welcome to the club, buddy. Fuck. Just come on.
It's that Rick and Morty thing. What is my purpose? You pass the butter. Oh God.
Yeah, welcome to the club, buddy. But yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool. I wonder if and now that being my safe space, I guess, if you want to call it that, Unification Wars being my safe space of actual hobby, because there is no rules. What James said about the Raven Guard glassing people, although how wrong it is politically or whatever, legit you could probably put that in there somehow, because it's a community based thing, and there's very few people playing it. And
what's wrong with the little casual like racism? Like I freely bag out my own race. Why is any other race off limits? Like, I can't make an army of like Australian white dudes from Frankston because it would just be boring as fuck. It'd just be a bunch of dudes with mohawks who are too pissed, and all they do all game is lay smoke screens by doing burnouts in old Commodores. What a fucking boring army.
Sounds like techno-barbarians to me, man.
Well, maybe.
It's legit.
I mean, you could throw a few like crocodile tamers in there or something just to live up that stereotype. Like,
well, that's the thing. People are rocking dinosaurs and shit in their Unification War techno-barbarian units and shit. It's crazy. There's some crazy shit going on, and I hope to do a video. I would have done, but my Vegas Pro seemed to have shit itself, which I've got to get that fixed. But to introduce people into what the Unification Wars is and how to start painting some stuff up for it, because there's some really cool options for stuff there. And it also gives you a break from what 30k is or is going to become. It's just going to get worse. I don't see it getting better. And there's just more and more people, especially on 30k sites and stuff, just coming in like, oh, what's the best unit and shit. That guy that legit went on there and just asked, what's the best unit? The Terminator Army guy? Did you see that post?
yes.
What the fuck, man? And Compass go on there to defend him. The fuck? I was just like, yeah, I've got a cool way to defeat this army. Never fucking play you. Get fucking wrecked, cunt. I'm paying I'm paying $75 for a fucking event just to get my fucking face stopped and not have fun, just so he can fucking have wank. Cunt. I actually said that to him. I said, and he was like, oh, was it him or I think it was some other dude. He said that there's tactical genius and strategies inside tabletop wargaming. I said, no, there's not. As much as there is at masturbating, like you can fucking do up a fucking sheet for it and some charts and shit, but at the end of the day, you're just fucking masturbating. It's about having fun, bro. You can do it with yourself, or you can do it with another person, even fun with another person. But at the end of the day, it's still just fucking masturbating. There's no fucking tactical fucking genius in it at all, from my point of view, anyway. But fuck, you might think that masturbating is the next way the next war is going to be fought, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's the tactics only comes down to it once the lists are equal, you know. Because at the end of the day is random chance element, but also lists are invariably unbalanced against one another. You know, it's like that time that I was running my Nurgle Demons, and it was all... were you still up there in Townsville for that? When I had the, 40 Plague Letters, the 3 Demon Princes Epidemius list? Well,
yeah, you fought I'm pretty sure you fought my ninjas with it.
I might have. But I ended up playing Ken Loiterton, who top chap. Doesn't really play anymore though because fucking the changes with 6th edition, 7th edition just broke the guy. I don't blame him. But yeah, he was running Dark Eldar, right? Just Venom spam list. Everyone who was playing in late 5th edition knows what that was, and it was just basically Venom's just unable to catch him, just firing unlimited fucking bullets. Well, I'm chasing with an army of slow and purposeful. The whole army rolls difficult terrain to move each turn. And I'm trying to chase down skimmers with units that move a max of 6 inches, and the skimmers are moving 24 inches a turn. Right? Fucking Napoleon, Caesar, whatever. Fucking the Primarchs themselves couldn't have won that game. Tactics had nothing to do with it because the lists were just completely unbalanced against one another. He knew it, I knew it. At the end of the game, because he was such a top bloke, he just started sending units towards me deliberately for me to kill them, just so I could kill something in the game.
I'm still sure he didn't just throw away the game, so he's not that much of a top bloke. Still winning the game and being all like, "Oh, here you go, peasant, have some bread."
Hey, I enjoyed that bread.
I don't need your pity.
But it was one of those things where we just looked at each other's lists at the start of the game, and I was like, "Oh," and he was like, "Yeah, you can't win this, can you?" And I'm like, "Nope." And so we. But
it reminds me of the Boer War. I mean, guns versus dudes with spears and shit, man. What are you gonna do?
It wasn't the Boer War. The Boers had guns. They got them off the Germans. Boers were rocking around with Kark 98s and shit. The fucking British had the early Lee Enfields. The Boers... Boer War taught the British a lot of shit about war, actually. The British went into World War One better prepared because of Boer War. It's actually a funny story.
I don't think it is a funny story. But yeah, I mean, it was good until all their experienced infantry and stuff got fucking killed early World War One, and then they were just back to the normal shit. I guess they still had.
Oh no! In terms of like equipment and uniforms and things like that.
Yeah, well, they had great.
The British learned the lesson in the Boer War of like maybe you shouldn't dress your units in bright coloured uniforms. Maybe like earth tones, people.
Yeah, the French
are a better idea. And it helped the British out because when they fought the Germans, the Battle of the Marne, the Germans in these rather dressy uniforms they wore at that time were having trouble spotting the British, who were in these very muddy khaki uniforms, laying prone in the fucking grass, letting out volleys that made the Germans think they were shooting machine guns at them. Fucking very bad juju. But anyway, we've diverged. So yes, been painting custodes, been pissed off at the power gamers coming across the Thousand Suns and the people who are Thousand Suns players, who all of a sudden have started just mass producing bullshit armies. You people are the people who ruin nice things. We all came over to 30k to get away from the bullshit of 40k. We came over to 30k because we wanted to enjoy Chaos Space Marines actually being unique in their identities. And you fucking assholes are ruining it for everyone. Right? You're ruining it for everyone who came over to 30k. Because people in 30k, generally, those of us who are here from the start, want to play narrative. Right? We want to play silly missions. We want to have random things happen. We want to be capturing objectives. We want to play historical reenactments, if there is such a thing, for like the campaigns in the books and things like that, right? And we take lists along to events that emphasise this point and have character and have fluff and Wikipedia pages about them, and then you assholes come along having never played a game of 30k, you rock up to an event, you bring along fucking 8 knights and you go, "Oh, eat a dick, everyone." Right?
And there's no podium finish.
And there's no podium finish. You're kicking fucking dicks in for no reason, right? It's like, just if you want to do that, just go back to 40k. 30k is not the place for you. It's accepted in 40k 100%. To do that, right? It's accepted. So you don't have, like, no one's stopping you from doing it there. What we are trying to stop is you from doing it here. And you don't need to do it here, right? Just go over to 40k and go kick the dicks in there, and fucking everyone will sit around the soggy sail and wank off onto it about how good they fucking are and how great a general they are because their fucking Eldar Wraith Knight army beat the fucking 14-year-old Billy, the fucking intern at the Games Workshop battle they played. big fucking whoop. Go ruin that fucking game system. It's already fucked anyway. Leave our game system the fuck alone. We'll just have our narrative games. Stop coming to our events with your shit. Right? We're happy to have you at our events. Just don't bring shit. Don't bring an all Terminator fucking cheese fest army to a fucking event where it's like, hey guys, this is for fun only. We're going to recreate the Battle of Istvan, and then fucking you rock up with, oh, here's 50 Justinian and Horus the Warmaster deep striking turn 1, eat a dick. Nobody wants to play it. So
yeah, I'll agree with that, man. And with the influx of all these people, it looks to be, especially the events that I go to, they're going to be strictly invite only. So
yeah, and that's the situation we've got into, that we've had to make things invite only. Because this is not the 30k community. The 30k community, we used to be able to proudly turn around and poke fun at 40k players. Right? We used to be able to turn around and say, look at those shit cunts. Right? They're not doing this for fun. They're doing this because they're getting a bit of a power trip. You know, not all of them, but a fair few are getting a bit of a power trip out of winning games. And instead, what's happening now is that fucking they're coming over and they're ruining a good thing. And now we've got to fucking become excluding. We're becoming in a community that can't include everyone. We've got to exclude people because we don't want their shit. And that's horrible. We want to grow this system. We want this to be a great system. We want to be able to turn around and say, you know, that look, the community has done a good job and we've kept the cheese out of it, you know. And using an example to Games Workshop to say, maybe you can fix 40k, maybe you can make it pure again. And instead, the opposite's happening. We're now having to fucking police ourselves, and we're ending up being split into two 30k communities. The community that actually gives a shit about the narrative and playing 30k, and the other community that just wants to play tabletop games. They don't care about the fluff, they don't paint their armies, they don't fucking collect, they don't know their anything. They just want to go ahead and kick dicks. And it's made me really fucking angry. So this is the closest I've pretty much come to being triggered.
Well, I was pretty triggered. I destroyed fucking 4,000 points Ultramarines. Should probably try. I gave it the old fucking 1-2, man. So I don't think there's not a lot coming back from that. I don't have the heart to look at it yet. It's been a couple of weeks. So just been painting some fucking zombies just to get my mind off of it. And hopefully once this 7th edition fucking 7th book comes, wave of bullshit stops, hopefully it crashes into the rocks and people go back to normal once there's some games played and, you know, Mechanicum, everyone finds out Mechanicum's actually still bullshit and 1,000 Suns aren't that bad.
well, I've already found out most of the combos I can make, and I've got what is it, Cat, about 7,000, 8,000 points, 1,000 Suns?
If you count, you've got your shiny ones and then you have the ones that you made back in fucking when...
Oh no, sold the
original. You sold those ones?
Yes,
oh, okay,
yes.
yeah, okay. Well,
one of many 1,000 Suns armies I had. Cat's referring, by the way, to a 1,000 Suns army that I made that was all pre-heresy, where I spent, 6 months, a year, maybe, collecting all the bits to make them.
It was just, yeah, that's right, because you went on some third-party sites to get the shoulder pads and shit, and the heads, the Terminator heads and shit as well. That's when they first released the Mark II and III armor.
Yes, and by the time I'd finished the project and got the army painted up, it was like a month before they released the Horus Heresy Book 1, and then it was pretty much, I looked at my shit and looked at what Forge World was doing, and I was like, well, fuck. Because I knew they were going to do it better. And I was playing it as a 6th edition, or 5th edition and 6th edition Chaos Space Marine army of 1,000 Suns. I sold that army on. It's not a bad army, it was a good little army, but that was how much fucking commitment I've had to 1,000 Suns, right? I made a full pre-heresy army with Mark II. I scoured the world for bits. You know, you can testify to this. Like, yeah,
there's some crazy bits from random fucking sellers, man.
Yeah, and you know, I was that into it. And this was at a time when, 5th edition Chaos were not exactly the fucking powerful force, were they? And 6th edition did nothing to help matters, especially for Zench. You know, Khorne and, well, Nurgle, really. Just Nurgle. Nurgle is the only way to go with Chaos. And, yeah, I was doing it because I loved the army. And, yeah, no, I sold that army in the end because it just was completely different to my shiny Marines that I've got now. And of course, getting back to the original point, having 8,000 points of Shiny Marines, I've done a lot of playtesting with the New Thousand Suns rules. And I've figured out most of the combos, not all, there's always new things to be discovered. But I've also figured out a lot of the fixes, a lot of the ways to bring down the combos. So I'm keeping them tight.
I don't know, man.
I'm keeping them tight to my chest, but I'm thinking if I'm seeing people being too cheesy out there in the community, I'm just going to start releasing the fixes.
There's not much you can do against fucking 2++.
Oh, there are ways of stopping it, but again,
strength, toughness 5. Oh, sorry, toughness 7. Terminators, man, with 2 wins.
The problem is people. Kat, the problem is people don't understand psychic powers, right? They're not understanding exactly the chain of events required to go off. And if you don't understand psychic powers, how can you fight a psychic army? You yourself struggled using psychic powers yourself at the last event.
Yeah, but if I was getting shit off on a 3+, and also if I was getting fucking 20+ fucking spell dice, come on, man. It's not that hard to get what you want.
Well, there's things, there's little things, man, like Biomancy. Sure, you can get Iron Arm. Yeah, okay, plus D3 strength or toughness. It's not a flat +3. If you only get +1 toughness, you're only toughness 5. That Vindicator Shell's going to insta-give you Terminators still. And if they're rolling on Biomancy, well, they're not going to have Invis, are they? So, if you want to give them a better invol or something like that, you're gonna they're only a level 1 squad. You know, they've only got 1 power, and if they roll for 1 power on a chart with 6 powers, there's a 1 in 6 chance of getting that Iron Arm. That's not great chances.
The Rite of War does some bullshit as well.
Yes.
There's some bullshit, and it's definitely real, and there are people that will use it, and I'm not.
That's right.
Have the mindset because I don't have the inkling, or I don't have the shits to give for power gaming, so I'm not into it at all. I just think it's fucking pointless, and it's very sad that it's coming to.
I think the saddest part is that this is another stage of power creep. The Thousand Suns side, not so much, because we kind of knew what was coming. We knew that there was going to be Psychers in there, however they did the powers. Me personally, I think I could have done that better than Forge World did, with my Possess style system where you roll a d6 instead for the squad, rather than having to go through that whole 13-step Psychic phase bullshit. Just roll a d6 and you get a flat buff, like a Possess squad. You know, on a 1 it's a nothing, or maybe even a perils, so, you know, you've got to think it through before you use it. And it can be really simple. You can scale the powers, you can make it so that, you know, you roll Pyromancy, all your shots gain rending this turn or something on the squad. I don't know. It doesn't have to be much, right? Just a minor little thing like that stops a lot of the bullshit, and it means that the other guy, the person on the other team, actually gets a chance to deny some of the more important spells, the ones that are actually cast by the characters. The fact that you're casting spells with the squad is sort of a fuck around. Where I think the problems occur for the book is Weeman Russ himself is way better than pretty much any other Primarch, which I don't think's right. It's the same problem I had with Gilliman, in that Gilliman is a better strategician, or strategician? Strategist we'll just go with. Better strategist than the Lion, and a better fighter than most of the other Primarchs, which doesn't suit Gilliman's fluff. But whatever, he is what he is. And it's got me worried because I'm going, well, Sanguinius and the Lion have to come, and they've both got to be equal or better than Russ and Gilliman that exist now. So
with that, they seem to be changing. They're changing the story as it goes along. They had the whole, beware spoilers, but it's probably not true anyway. So it was with Alfarius and Gilliman. Gilliman didn't go by his own doctrine, and he deep strikes in the heart of the Alpha Legion compound and then kills Alfarius allegedly. But that's not.
Index Astartes has been retconned.
Yeah, so and it seems to be changing as they go on anyway. So who knows? Maybe Horus will win that throne, man. Hopefully, he is. Hopefully, imagine that. That'd be such a plot twist, man. That'd be so good. The last book. So apparently, with that Weekender, apparently there's 25 books still to come or some bullshit, some ridiculous amount. They're not even halfway through with the books. At book 7, allegedly.
Yeah, they were aiming for 40 books.
Jesus, really?
Or 20 books. No, 20 books. 20 books sounds, yeah.
Yeah, 40 sounds. Yeah, fucking Jesus. Could you imagine if they maintained the release schedule they have? It'll be fucking. It would legit
Well,
be the 30,000.
you know what's funny, Kat? Book 1, right, came out. Took a year for Book 2 to come out. 6 months for Book 3 to come out. And they're like, oh, we've put way more staff and resources into the books from now on. It's like, oh, sweet, we're going to get a book every 6 months. And then they started, like, creeping out. It was like, Book 4 comes, like, 8 months later. Then Book 5's, like, a year after that. And now it's, like, another year till the next book. The next book after 1,000 Suns will be, like, 3 years from now.
When's Book 8?
3 years.
Bullshit. When's Book 8 supposed to come out?
3 years. Why not? The Angelus, the Book 8. No, but they're putting more resources into it and slowing the fuck down. Like, I don't want to be rude to Forge World, but come on. Like, does it really take a year to write these books? Alright, sure, playtesting the units, maybe. But even then, like, it doesn't take much. You're only talking like 3 or 4 new units introduced in each book. Like, come on, a year? Really? Maybe for all the art in them, but even then, it's still. I don't know, Kat, what do you think?
I think the artists, I know a couple of artists myself, that do a lot of commission work, commission artists and stuff, and they if they have a task to do, they get it done, because it's their fucking job, so they know how to do that shit. The authors is the same, they can do some shit, and then, they get told to change some shit, and they change shit up, and it takes them. It's just some fucking words on paper. And that's their fucking job. Like, that's what they do.
It's like a 40k codex. I could piss out a better 40k codex in Games Workshop writes in about a week.
See, but they got monkeys. Reference Mr. Burns. Fucking 1,000 monkeys at 1,000 typewriters. That's how they're making their 40k decks.
But Matt Ward's that monkey that keeps writing Blurst of Times, and he keeps getting more work off them. Same with Phil Kelly. Everyone's like, oh, Phil Kelly's not so bad. He's written some great books. Yeah, he writes great Eldar books because he's a fucking Eldar fucking player. Meanwhile, when he writes Chaos, he's like, oh, I'm just going to assign you some arbitrary values, and they suck. So, and then you got Crudus, who's like an Imperial Guard tank whore. Then they send him out to, like, fucking write Tyranids. Like, they got writers with mad bias going out to write these fucking codexes. It's retarded. They've just got to move some of these goons on.
Yeah, it'd be good to see some new talent get in there.
Oh, and the other thing is the sculptors. Whoever the sculptors are right now, some of those sculptors are on Twitter and stuff, and a few people show me, like, what they write about their own work. Some of these sculptors do not know a thing about the fluff. They're literally just a hired sculptor working for Games Workshop, right? And they're just like, I just designed this because I think it looks cool and I think it's in keeping with the fluff. It's like that retard, that fucking smartest kid with Down syndrome, who fucking sculpted Magnus with the bionics. A demon prince with fucking bionics. Oh, he needed to fix his arm after Russ broke it. Yeah, hello, I'm a fucking human and I can fix a broken arm. He's a fucking Primarch, let alone a demon Primarch, let alone demon Primarch with biomancy. And you tell me he couldn't fix a broken arm, he had to fucking fill it full of bionics. And by bionics, you just put a bunch of conduit tubing in there, which I'm pretty sure won't fix shit, but whatever. We get rid of these sculptors that don't give a shit about the game and sculpt just shit. Right?
Well, the sculptor's just doing their job. All they have to do is follow a fucking design. I don't know how hard that is.
Apparently, very hard. I don't know. I'm a very angry, bitter old person who... I like change and I like new creative sculpts, right?
Did you like the new Gilliam?
No, but see, if Gilliman doesn't reek of a 6-person committee design panel, nothing does. They're like, oh, well, Age of Sigmar is selling well, so we've got to put some Sigmar iconography in there. Oh, yes, but we've got to keep the blue. But it can't be that really dark blue. No, it's got to be a bright blue. Oh, yes, good thinking. What about the face? Oh, well, people like the Arnold Schwarzenegger chin, right? So we'll dial it up to 11 until he's got such powerful chin and cheeks that his eyeballs literally disappear into his cheeks.
Yes.
That's perfect. Awesome. It's perfect. Any other ideas?
Powdered toast, man.
Sculpted energy's all the rage these days. I saw it in that World of Warcraft that all the kids play. That they've got the swords with the glowing things, so why don't we give him the glowing sword? Oh, it's perfect. I love it. And that was how they designed Gilliman.
Yeah, seems so.
So yeah, people probably turning off this in droves because they're just sick of my impersonations of fucking GW staffers. But yeah. Anyway, all the feces aside,
It's a good rare. It's a good rare look inside the industry. We'll say.
Yes. What do we think of Forge World's new releases? Because Games Workshop released nothing of note.
So you say. I still like their Griffin infantry. It's pretty cute. But all right. So Forge World releases. We have Le Vrag Ghoul Chewer. So I'm guessing he's some orc guy that chews up ghouls.
He's a special character blitzer for the orcs, or star player. His stats are okay. He's not like too crazy. Like you could get your normal blitzer to better or equal to or better than this guy pretty easy.
Yeah.
As a sculpt, I don't think he's anywhere near as good as the Mighty Zug.
I don't know, man. I just have a normal lineman, Ili Bryzogolov, the guy who says why you have to be mad is only a game. There's a meme about him. I made him a lineman in my human team, and he got 2 kills in one game. So he's basically better than this orc. But this orc chews ghouls like chewing gum. I guess that's cool. I still don't know how you get, unless you get petty cash because your ranking is so low inside on a Blood Bowl team. I don't know how that works. How did you get all these special characters?
Well, in like the rulebook and that, you can, like if you're playing like one-off games, you can just pick like a ready-made team out of the book.
Okay.
You know, like representing the champion winning team of like, you know, the 2288 grand finals or something like that. And so, you know, you could do that with Varag and that kind of thing. So, yeah. Or if you're in a league, eventually you could earn him. I do love the fact, though, that he has a squig as a ball, and the fact that orcs have squigs as balls in Blood Bowl plastics.
That is pretty cool.
I like one of the balls has a leg. It's just there's a ball and it's like a random leg coming out of the ball.
Yeah, that's a really nice touch.
It's that's great. That's the kind of thing where quirkiness is perfectly acceptable. You know, it's not trying to be dark and serious and brooding like the Horus Heresy. It's trying to be fun and quirky.
Yeah, definitely. I like. Yeah, it's a pretty good sculpt. I like it. It's not something I'd buy, but I don't hate it.
Yeah. We'll skip over Mazaril, the butcher, and come back to him. Morgan Thorg. He has a very 90s look about him.
Yeah, he's just like the game, the digital game. So I like him. I think he's the most expensive, at least in the digital game. He's like 240,000 to hire for a game, something like that. Maybe it's 3,400.
Oh
so
yeah, he's fucking expensive.
40,000. I think it's the most expensive dude, but he's he fucking smashed his face.
Yeah, I'll definitely get him at some point. I do have Grok and Grumbleberry, which is another ogre, and halfling combo. So I could always just use Grok counts as Morgan Thorg if I really wanted to until I get Morgan Thorg. So I've got options. I've also got the Mighty Zug, who looks fantastic as well.
Mighty Zug in my Blood Bowl campaign I'm playing with my friends online. It's all online. So I don't see, there's no real point in me playing this game. I can't get out to play these board games in the middle of fucking nowhere. So online is the best place for me to do it. And then that way there's no discrepancy on the rules.
Well, if you do make it to Geigenhive too, I'll bring it along because we'll play it at night Hive.
Why the fuck would I care? I'll be playing Unification Wars. If I wanted to play Blood Bowl, I'd go online and play Blood Bowl.
Like that little girl in the taco ad. Why not both?
Because this way I can just play Unification Wars. I can play Blood Bowl at home. But the Mighty Zug is the one who killed the spawn of Nurgle on my friend's team, and that seems to be a pretty big key part to his band of merry men. It was pretty funny. Just killed him.
My Nurgle team, I hired the Nurgle star player, or Chaos star player, to play for him. He was literally the worst player on my team, and most of my team was stock. He just performed like
Jeez.
absolute ass all game. I had him throw to a fucking Beastman 3 squares away, and he fucked the throw, and the ball goes like 9 squares to the right. It's like, how do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up? And it was like guaranteed touchdown if he could throw it to this fucking Beastman, because the Beastman was like 6 squares out from like the touchdown, and this
That's
dude
still. It
already used his max
sounds
move.
like a 5+ throw, at the max, bro. That's his 5+ throw, and then he's got to catch it.
No,
on
it
the
wasn't.
fly.
It was a 3+ throw with all his
Oh, okay.
mutations.
But what
and
about
shit.
the catch?
Oh, the catch. The dude had the Beastman I was throwing to was fine. It was the throw that went to shit. The Beastman he was throwing to was a 3+ catch because he had like big hand, 2 arms, that kind of thing. Had like all the fucking catching mutations and throwing mutations. He's my Beastman like king shit player on my Nurgle team, because like the Rotters are useless. Yep. They're just the fodder, and then like all my Chaos Warriors are just pimped out to just fuck people up in like when they're blocking. And yeah, this Beastman's like got like fucking 4 arms or something, and multiple arms, like these horribly mutated giant hands, like novelty hands. And he's like, throw it to me, and this dude was like, and then the ball just like, I don't know, it goes through a fucking wormhole and pops out the other side of the fucking field. And then I was just hoping for like a random event the next kickoff that like a fan would throw a rock and knock him the fuck out. Never happened, but you know, would have been great. Karma's a bitch.
So that's the thing about star players. They already have their money, so they don't care how well they play.
Yeah, he does. You'll notice now that there's a fucking bump in the fucking field.
What the?
Yeah, we dug a hole in the ground, we killed him, we buried him. Anyway. Iron Hills Dwarves. The Iron Hills Dwarves with Spears, Goat Riders, and Dane Ironfoot and Goat Rider Warband. Kat, what do you think of the Iron Hills Dwarves?
Put it in goat. No, it's pretty funny. Already seen some people talk about this on the unification site. To turn these guys into some crazy wasteland cavalry.
Tim goes, how would these guys look with human riders? I said, taller.
Yeah,
it was a useless comment. Please continue.
There's not much to say. I can't believe they still got the license for Lord of the fucking Rings. Is anyone fucking playing this shit, or what the fuck?
Well, I did a what broke the fans on it, and it turns out there are still people playing it, and they are pissed off for the same reasons I was with Games Workshop about it, where you know, they've just sort of shit on the franchise, drove the prices up way too high, and made the rules a bit too complicated for a skirmish game. And I don't know, I have a subscription to Empire magazine, because I'm big into movies and like all the behind the scenes of movies and stuff, and I read heaps of magazines and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm watching, reading an article before the third Hobbit film came out, and Peter Jackson's talking about putting in goat cavalry for the dwarves, and I remember myself like raging at it, like, you did it again, you fuckwit, you did it again. You can't leave well enough. Everyone who works around him are yes men. Nobody turns around and says to Peter Jackson, mate, that's a shit idea. Right? Nobody turns around and says these things. So then he goes and puts retarded things in his movies. Oh, I want to have an elf-dwarf love story. What? No, no one gives a shit. And he goes and does it anyway, and yeah, I don't know. The goats are terrible. I love the Iron Hills Dwarves. I like a lot of stuff about the Hobbit films, but those and like the dwarf chariot things, they were just jarring to me.
Yeah, it was pretty weird seeing Billy Colony on a goat and shit. It's weird. Was it a boar?
Yeah, he's on a pig. I don't even know if it's a boar. I think it's just a pig. But Billy Connolly's great. Billy Connolly's always great.
I disagree.
You know, he once sued God.
Good for him.
On a plus note, the ruined watchtower of Amon Sul at Weathertop.
It's back.
It is back, but it is like double or triple the price it was 15
No, it wasn't.
years
No,
ago.
no, I think it's cheaper.
You reckon?
Mm.
I reckon the original was only like £120.
Sorry, I remember it being $400. That's more than $400.
Yeah, but you gotta
It's
remember,
fine, yeah.
Australian economy was terrible in year 2000. The Australian economy now, next to the pound, is pretty good.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I was like thinking $255. No, that would have been less if it was $255. But it's pounds, £255, which is closer to. It's more than 500, isn't it?
It's just under 500. It's like 480, something like that.
Mm.
So, yeah, ouchies, ouch time. I really like it. That said, I think I would rather go to Pirate Island and get one at that price.
Actually, yeah. I don't know if Pirate Island will have one of these. Probably they have everything.
According to the Pirate Island catalogs, they do.
Alright then. See.
I don't want to spend my money with Pirate Island, but I've also got to get my money's worth, and you've got to be a savvy consumer.
Yeah, if I'm just getting ripped off all the time, then I wouldn't have any money for food.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
well,
food or
so if
hobby.
I can't afford this, then I shouldn't buy it. Okay, but I can afford it from Pirate Island.
Well, as I've said before, if a person couldn't afford a Forge World army at all, goes to
There's a lot
Pirate
of them
Island,
like
buys
that.
an army, and then comes on later and buys just one Forge World model. That's one model they never would have sold that they sold. So they
Yeah.
can't be pissed off. They can't be
And
pissed off.
the black books and shit as well. You can't really get them from Pirate Island. You can get the PDFs, but it's not the same. You know, you can't say that your apartment is full of fake leather-bound books and smells of fucking cheap Forge World resin.
Well, all my 1,000 Suns, like 8,000 points, is all legit Forge World. All my Custodes, legit GW plastics. Magnus the Red, the Demon Prince, is plastic, legit. You know, my Black Shields, all my Terminators, Power Armor, the works. It's legit. I bought all the fucking Forge World and Games Workshop books. It's all legit. So if I want to go and buy a fucking resin version of Amon Sul, you know, to go with my fucking 500 model count, nearly Gondor and Mordor army for Lord of the Rings, then I will. I won't feel any shame in it. Take that how you will.
Mm. But yeah, it is a good piece. I remember when it first came out for the Lord of the Rings movie.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
Fuck, do you remember that shit? Fuck, I would have been a teenager.
Talk
then.
about on what broke the fans. Did you ever
No.
go to the Greensboro store back in like the year 2000?
Nah, I never did.
Oh, they built a full weathertop table.
I think
And-
they did it for all
Yeah,
stores. They did
yeah,
have
and I
a
think
weather
they
top there,
most
'cause I
stores
had one
did a
in
Helm's Deep as well.
I
But
think so.
oh, wasn't it fantastic? It looked so cool, like this table with this awesome terrain.
It was very
and,
cool. Yeah,
and
definitely.
you could literally have like a full reenactment of the movie with like, you know, the ring wraiths attacking the fucking hobbits and Aragorn with the flaming brand and the sword, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, it was very cool.
that's fucking awesome as. And then they took a big shit on that legacy later on.
Yeah, it was a really good system at the start, and then it just seemed to have got
Do
away
you
from
remember when in that time when all the Games Workshop stores, geez, I'm going to sound like an old fart here, everything was like handmade, like all the terrain and stuff. I don't know, it was some really cool stuff. They had some really cool tables. Like they made like a Mordheim table, and you know, it's like, was it lentil beans or whatever? Those like round ones that are like the size of your little fingernail, maybe even smaller. They made a whole Mordheim table, and they used like just cheapo supermarket beans and PVA glue and paved all the streets with them, so it was like all cobblestones.
Mm.
Like,
Now
you don't
you
see
can
that
just
now. Now
buy-
it's just a Realm of Battle board.
Yeah, well, you could get the fat mat. But don't forget to put clear bases on your fucking army so you can see the sweet, sweet fat mat underneath. Fucking clear bases, get the fuck out.
Ooh.
Fuck.
Do you want to talk about clear bases?
Yeah, I'll touch on it. I think we have before, but in
Probably,
any
let's
case,
do it again.
yeah. So you got normal people basing their shit and adding to their army, and then you got people with clear bases, which are just legit clear bases. No, we have talked about this ages, because you said, yeah, people use fucking super glue and it fogs up instead of using PVA and shit. And they'll weather up their armies even though they're on clear bases. Like, the fuck? Anyway, it's just a peeve. But anyway, we'll go on with this thing. We've got Prospero Campaign Collection, which is book 7, and the red book for, wait a minute, what the fuck?
The red book's about £32.
That book, that Legions of Starters book, is that the same one? That's just got the fucking normal shit in it, not the other.
Yeah, that's just
Legions.
the standard army list.
Standard stuff, right? So if you, yeah, that's good. If I guess that's what people will be buying. All the new MLG players coming from 40k to 30k, they'll probably be getting this bundle to play.
No, they won't.
There.
They'll be downloading a PDF copy of fucking Pirate Bay.
Nah, I don't think they're that savvy. I wouldn't buy it. Not that. The other one, yes, I'll be buying the $80 one, not the £112 one, not the collection, because that red book is going to be fucking useless in about.
That's exactly why I'm not. It's already useless with this book, mate.
Is it?
Well, did this book not introduce new units?
Didn't it? No, it didn't. Not for everyone.
It introduced new units for Marines. It introduced new
What?
units.
Which one? What? A generic unit?
Vehicles.
What vehicle?
It's either this one or the last one. I can't remember. The Derodeo with the las cannons. You got the Knight Porphyrion or Porphyrion or whatever it's called. The that one that's like Titan sized and half the fucking points and full power creep. A whole bunch of extra Mechanicum shit and a Mechanicum addendum. So every time Black Book comes out, you've now got to get all the units in it and add it to the Red Book. These Red Books are useless.
Yeah, they're
very good until the next book release, and then they become outdated or partially outdated. And it's an ever-moving goalpost. You know, every time a unit gets added, the Red Book becomes a little bit more useless, and then if you get an edition change or something like that, it becomes completely useless. And I think this is like the second or third rendition of the Red Books, and you see them on Buy Swap Sell all the time. Oh, selling one Legiones Astartes Red Book, and people are like, oh, is it the new one? No. Oh, get fucked. Why would I want that? It's got no fluff in it or anything. It's just a book with rules. It costs a lot of money. At least the Black Books, like, sure, book 1's heaps outdated, but I love going back and reading it.
Maybe if they make the cover out of clear perspex, all those clear bases can just get a fucking hole punch and make some bases out of it instead.
Yeah, or you can be really carefully with some turpentine, white out all the unit entries and then write your army list on the page, so that you've got a legit army list in a red book.
Oh my god, that's funny as hell.
There you go, you found a use.
Holy crap, that's funny as shit. Oh, well. Oh well, that concludes all the Forge World shit.
Yeah, we do need to go back to this Demon Prince.
Oh, have you ordered
the Butcher?
Sorry, have you? Oh, yeah, that's right. Gotta get him. Did you order a book already?
I did order a book 7 this morning. I had to justify it. I've got a lot of bills to pay, and it was like, I've got all the other books, and I've got the limited edition Conquest and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, I've been looking forward to the Thousand Suns. I've got all their rules in PDF already, but I still bought the book, so there's no piracy involved here, because I have bought the book.
Fair enough.
So, yes, Mazaril the Butcher, Demon Prince of Khorne. Is this guy for Scrubma?
I don't know. I'm having
yes,
to read now.
He is. It comes with a free war scroll. They keep bringing out Khorne Demon Princes and shit. There's this Skarak the Bloodborn, Great Korgorath of Khorne and stuff. They're cool looking dudes. Well, I think that Skarak the Bloodborn is. I don't think this dude looks very good, but they keep bringing out Khorne Demon Prince for Age of Sigmar. Have they not got the idea that people are very fucking over Khorne at this stage?
Clearly not.
Oh, okay then. Well, no, it's just like there are other armies and people like, you know, Zench, people like Slanesh, and Slanesh is being like written out of everything, and then Zench has got new stuff lately, but the theme for Zench has just become Birdmen. There's like no weirdness. You remember when Zench got their like 3.5 horrors and stuff, and they were just like these weird tentacle monsters? I miss that.
Well, holy fuck. There's 30 bits for that model.
Yeah, each horn would be a bit.
Fuck
The
that.
little toenails coming out his legs might be an individual bit. His shield and
That's not going to be fucking annoying at all.
his arm is clearly 2 bits. There's clearly a shoulder separation. The fin on his back has got to be a separate part as well. I'd say all these horns coming out of his shoulders are separate bits.
That's pretty fucked, man.
The axe is probably either the haft of the axe joins into the hand, or the hand itself is a bit to the arm. Probably the hand joins to the arm. Yeah, I can see how this thing goes together.
It's pretty bad.
But yeah, I don't know. Looks
Good
okay.
for
Looks
conversions,
okay. Looks
Something
okay.
like the axe or something.
I think that Skarak the Bloodborne down the bottom, I don't know if you've got him, but in my suggestions he's there. He looks way fucking cooler. He looks like some kind of crazed demon prince. Looks like he belongs on Kalth running out of the Ruin Storm.
He looks a bit out of control.
His ass is just staring at you from the model. Sticks right out at you. It's perverse. But yeah, no, he looks cool. I always thought like something like this would make a pretty cool looking Scarbrand when I first saw him. Because he has like that whole broken look about him. Like his will. He's not like physically, he looks broken and shattered. It's like, oh, he'd be a cool Scarbrand. But no, he's just some generic dude. So, whatever.
Well then. Well, I won't be getting that either of them anyway.
Yeah, fair call. Fair
Doesn't- yeah.
call.
I just do my shit.
Actually,
Into-
you know what the
The hell is going on?
oh, that's the dog playing with a toy. So
Damn, leaving dead bodies around the house again. Dog's trying to eat them. Nice.
yeah, well, you know, that plane crashed on my property.
Well, that's I still need to get book. 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to be about $500.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Oh, just had a brain thought. Right, the the worst Demon Prince model. I reckon it's actually that Samus, the one that's like a lanky dog man. Who, when I first saw him, I was like, that can't be Samus. Because I don't know, for some reason in my head, I always had pictured like a Nurgle Demon Prince for Samus.
I don't know. I thought quite. I'm pretty sure it was like some. I just thought he became just a little bit bigger. You know, than a marine, not like fucking huge and had monkey arms and shit. It was just really weird. But
Oh, just that model's terrible. I don't know if there's any redeeming qualities about Samus. So, yeah. Although, of note, several people have said to me that, I'm just scrolling down the new releases, that they wanted to buy a Custodes army, but it's not going to happen because they think it's too expensive to buy the tanks. So, there we go. There's some hope yet.
That's interesting. Why wouldn't they? I've seen people legit selling their armies and multiple armies, 3, 4, 5 armies at a time, going up and buy Swapswell, eBay, and some other communities, so they can just go Custodes. It's like, no, this is it. This is all I need.
Yeah, well, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It's not for me. Selling off all my armies just to fund Custodes be like retarded.
Yeah, well, you can have that Dreadnought doing a fucking backflip in the air fucking throw on a shield. Shit.
No, I could do
So
that with the Thousand
dynamic.
Suns Dreadnought anyway.
No, too dynamic. Just got to make it more dynamic. It's got to be 6 million dynamics.
Some people get carried away with the dynamism of their dreadnoughts, don't they? But who am I to tell them how to hobby? Just as long as they stay the fuck away from Thousand Suns with their shitty attitudes, I'm happy.
Yeah, so what, you're just going to have fucking rock up to an event, 40 people, 38 of them have fucking custodes. You have some sons.
No,
some
you know
support.
what? We go to the same events. We know all the same people. The events we rock up to, there's going to be like 3 or 4 players at most with Thousand Suns. Probably the same people that rocked up with Thousand Suns at ACT. There was 3 of us, right? And people know me and know my lists. They're probably not going to get cut up about it. They're probably going to go, oh yeah, it's Macca's Thousand Suns. It's going to be all right. They know I'm not rocking huge units of 2-wound Terminators. In fact, I'm not running like the full Sekhmet army of all 2-wound Terminators or some bullshit. Right? All the people who are into this fad, they'll do the same thing that everyone does every time something new comes out. I'm going to start an Ultramarines army. They buy 1 squad of Invictus Suzerain paint. The first 3 guys can get over it, and then they put them on eBay. Happens every time. Same thing with this. They'll go, oh, I'm going to build fucking 60,000 Suns Cataphractii Terminators. Oh, it's going to cost how much? Oh, I've got to paint how much? Oh, fuck that.
They have commissioners to do that now.
Yeah, but commissioners charge a fortune. Have you seen how much Blue Table paint charges for their fucking shit?
I don't think you know how poorly he's doing now. But anyway,
No, I don't.
yeah,
Please
but
explain.
but you've got just look it up. Just throw it. Just I don't know, not so good. But he's still going at it. I wouldn't go Blue Table painting though. But like you've got lightning speed painting and other things that'll do it to a tabletop quality for a couple $100.
Was Blue Table the one that had that Chaos Dwarf debacle?
Yeah, there was a lot more debacles than that. That wasn't the main boy.
That's the one that always stuck out to me, because I really liked that Chaos Dwarf army theme, just between us.
I liked the fact, I don't know, just getting rid of veterans and shit, and I don't know, it was just really weird. That's the way he's treated his staff and stuff. You can tell some of them work for mini wargaming now, and well, not work. They do some videos, some painting tutorials for mini wargaming and some other sites. They've moved on to other things. Anyway, I don't know. Not my place to say, I guess. But,
well, on that, do you have a favourite like painting tutorials type people, or favourite painter you like to follow?
At the moment, I would definitely say it's Kenny Boucher from Next Level Painting.
Okay. Yep. For me, it's probably Ben Comet Smith and the Painting Buddha.
I like Kenny. His shit's easy to follow, and he's on Twitch and shit, and you can ask him questions on fucking Facebook. Ask him questions and shit. So he's got some pretty good. I don't know, just an easygoing dude, and I don't know, just really good to. Just good for the community, really.
Yeah, good. There's not enough of that.
Getting people to paint their shit, basically, which is really good. So
yeah,
to show people that it doesn't take a lot to make better than tabletop standard quality to get that next level. It doesn't. It's just a little bit more effort, and how the airbrush is just another tool in your bag, and that you save time for that, and you can invest that time into good brushwork to enhance your paint job, not just airbrush it a couple of colors and then good to go. So yeah, he does some really great things, and I think he does commissions, but his focus isn't on that. I think there's like a year and a bit backlog for his commissions at the moment.
Yeah, no, cool. It's good to have these people out there. Like again, Painting Buddha, they're pretty good at responding to you. They do have a Patreon and stuff, but if you're into following Patreons, but they will show you amazing shit, and a lot of it is actually accessible for free, even through like YouTube or Twitch or whatever, right? These guys are freely sharing their skills, better than Kat and I can by a mile. We're decent painters, but we know our limits, and these guys will do it all for free because they just want people to get better, right? They're like a nicer version of me, like lambasting everyone on their armies on parade stuff, which I do have to do a follow-up video on at some point, because even now people are still like disliking it and complaining in the comments like, oh, how can you be so mean to these people for painting shit for a competition? So, yes. But yes, I think that pretty much brings us to the end of this weekly Scrubdown.
A pretty depressing week, I think, just with book 7 and the floodgates that it's open. But oh well, there's always just look to your community and the people that you play with, I guess, because not everyone's going to be a fucking dick kicker at the end of the day, and focus on what you like. I'm gonna make the least effective army I can with a Reaver's army, and with 18 inches of their bolt guns. Don't worry, it's AP3 on a roll of a 6. In rhinos that are gonna die to those Mechanicum things with 40 fucking haywires. Yeah.
Oh, fucking Thawax, yeah. Sorry, Tim, we love you, but fuck, Mechanicum are overpowered. You just gotta accept it, dude. Photon thrusters firing fucking 8 shots out of a squad with twin linked and armor bane with -2 to cover saves is just penis. It's total penis. You know, it probably sounds alright to you on paper because you could have made it a lot nastier. But for those on the receiving end, trust me, it's nasty enough. You know, it's like, sorry, the results are in, you've got AIDS. And you're like, you see, it's only AIDS. It's not like I gave you, like, super mega AIDS. It's still AIDS, man. It still sucks. And the dog's at the door, so I'm going to call it there. Thanks very much for listening, people, and Kat.
Indeed. Catch you all on the other side.